Hello, welcome. It's a Monday, the 22nd of May, 2023, and we are back here on the program, the Newspaper Review. If you're seeing this video for the first time, don't worry, you're in the right place because this is where we'll bring you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. And to go through these headlines with me is Victor Sioko. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And my name is Williams Abule. Together, we're going to see what the headlines are looking like within the last 24 hours. And don't forget to also be a part of this by dropping your comments and your reactions, of course, on the comment section. We want to hear from you. Also connect with us and stay with us here on TAF TV by connecting with us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. You see those handles below the screen right now, scrolling for you. So make sure you subscribe, and of course, don't forget to turn on the notification on, because that's how you get notified whenever we come up with a new episode of the program. So let's go straight to the papers for today and see what the headlines look like. Begin with the Guardian newspaper for today, the 22nd day in the month of May. And on the Guardian here, we see boldly as the headline, high expectation as Dangote breaks NNPC's monopoly, shrinks EU supply to Africa. Page 6 is where details of that story is. I'll take that again. It says, high expectations as Dangote breaks NNPC's monopoly, shrinks EU supply to Africa. Page 6 is where details of the story is. All right, we'll move on to other headline here on The Guardian. It says, security, economy, restructuring, Southeast peace, top list of demand from Tinubu. Higher mortgage rates dampen real estate affordability, investments, news analysis. Page 5 is where you get details. We also see here, Babalola urges Tinubu to lobby for debt relief. You find that story on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. And, at the very bottom, global disinformation experts launch international panel on information environment. You see story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. All right, no, not so many headlines on the Guardian, but let's get into one of the very major matters here, which is Dangote Refinery that is going to also be commissioned today. And a lot of people have said that this is one of the greatest feats that has been achieved or accomplished by any Nigerian or the Nigerian government, as it were, to allow this huge milestone project to finally come alive. It's something very commendable. What's your take generally on the Dangote Refinery?
We are supposed to celebrate as in starting the day with sober celebration.
Yeah.
In fact, we are supposed to be popping champagne. Producer, you need to get us some champagne here because this is big news. This is not just a minor news for crying out loud. Nigeria should be happy. In fact, you see, putting out public holidays here and there, today is supposed to be the real public holiday. There should be, as in, enormous celebration in the land because the jinx has been broken.
Finally.
Mr. Bule,
we have one good refinery.
Mr. Bule, we need to drink about this good news.
So we need to celebrate.
God. Please, maybe after the show, we need to make some cheers, man. Okay? So, what has happened? The jinx has been broken, like I said.
Yeah.
For how many years Nigeria has been toiling on how to solve our refinery issues, my brother. But today, history has been made by one man, Aliko Dangote. One man that, there's a whole lot of story. Today might not be enough for us to talk about this matter or talk about Dangote. But let me just a little bit. Dangote came to Port Harcourt to buy the refinery.
That is the Eleme Refinery.
That's the Eleme Refinery. And they did not sell it to him. And he was like, see, I'm going to build my private refinery. If we even go back a bit on what happened when we were having cement issues in this country, it was the same Dangote. I know some people might be like, he has monopolized the system. Forget it. he came in and he restructured the cement business that the government could not handle. He bought over one of the cement companies in Middle Belt, and that was it. And he grew up his portfolio. Now, in the oil sector, he has launched in. And I'm happy. Why am I happy? Because this refinery that we are talking about will carry 650 barrels per day of crude. It will refine 650,000 BPDs against what the entire Warri, Kaduna, and Port Harcourt refinery we are supposed to be doing. One refinery, we do 650. Mind you, beforehand, Nigeria has been suffering to even get out 400 barrels, 400,000 barrels within the 3 refineries. Nigeria couldn't do that. And we now enter the stage of turnaround maintenance. That's TAM. Oh, we don't have time, but let me see what I can say.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine that? The cost of turnaround maintenance for those 3 refineries, the Abuja, the Kaduna, the Warri, and the Port Harcourt refinery, that Nigeria has spent $26.5 billion, not naira, $26.5 billion to maintain this refinery that are not working. But Dangote refinery today spent just about 40 billion. Why did I just say just about 40 billion for a refinery that will produce 650,000 barrels per day? But I'm coming. This same money that has been used to build this refinery is not ending just by this refinery, mind you. There is still fertilizer company there, petrochemical companies there. And this same refinery is the world's largest refinery by a single train. You ask me, what do I mean by single train? This refinery is the refinery that when you put inserting the crude, pumping the crude, that line can produce the constituent chemicals, like the gasoline, like kerosene, petrol, aviation fuel,
diesel.
Name them from a single train, just by one man. Why, you then now ask, why is it that we don't have leaders? Why do we have a president that you saw all these? Nigeria has this money.
All these possibilities.
You've wasted this money. So these same monies that we are talking about, the 26.5 billion naira, they have been interrogating these persons that stole the money till today.
Nothing has come out of
it. We are celebrating today. I count it all joy.
Yes, it is.
That this refinery is bringing will be bringing so much wealth to the nation. Mind you, the annual revenue for this refinery has been projected as in minimal form, $21 billion. If refinery was built with 40, you are very sure that every year you are getting by revenue 21 billion. What kind of business is this, my brother? And look at the sweetest part of this, that even the petrol that will be produced, that we cannot even finish it as a country. Can you imagine that?
It's an amazing
that Nigeria cannot finish this petrol. So importation of petrol will go down.
And thereby also reducing the cost.
Yes. And we know that all it is happening in here. The taxes that we are paying outside, we pay it inside here to develop our own country. This is magnificent.
It's a very commendable and a wow project, I must say. We haven't even spoken about the thousands of jobs. It's estimated that the refinery is going to produce over 100,000 jobs, direct jobs. Now, you say over 100,000. Something that in 10 years, the whole of Nigerian government cannot produce jobs for people up to that tune. 100,000 jobs, 100,000 people will gain employment to that. Then we're not talking about the indirect jobs, people like drivers, housemaids, business owners that will also make money from this, the economy of Lagos
Hey.
and the country at large. You know, this is something we should really celebrate the way you said it, and then commend Dangote, and also for the federal government to also give him the enablement to do this, to give him, you know, the enabling ground to go ahead with this project and accomplish it. And let's also hope that the next government will also allow him to have a free flow, and let's see how this is going to improve our economy. Definitely, it will improve our economy, but we want to see to what extent. And now that we're also driving closer and closer to when they will remove the subsidy, let's also see how this is going to cushion the effect, since we now have this petroleum product within our, you know, space, and also the movement of petrol from one place to the other, these products from one place to the other, gas and the rest of them will be within Nigeria. Let's see how all of that will help us to manage the subsidy removal.
You mentioned something about the government.
Yeah.
Government giving him the enabling environment.
Yeah.
See, he made it in a very good way. That this man is very smart. Yes, he has team of staff that are giving him all these ideas. Mind you, the NNPC are supposed to give him 300,000 barrels per day worth of crude.
Crude, yeah.
Okay.
For him to refine.
On a daily. But now, he built this refinery in a way that other persons, other countries can bring in their crude for him to refine.
Interesting.
So it's left for what's his name? NNPC to sell your product.
Or you keep it.
It's left for them. So in a situation whereby today we have the Singaporean officials coming in, we have people from Denmark, we have people from Netherlands,
these are all oil producing
CEOs
countries, yes,
coming in to tell him, please, we are going to supply crude to you. Look at Singapore. Singapore no get oil. Singapore has no oil. But what do? They refine these products. There are countries out there. Look at Ecuador. Do you know that Ecuador has spent just about $16 billion to make a refinery that is worth the whole entire 400,000 per barrel that these three moribund, useless refineries that we have in this country. Ordinary Ecuador. So what did? They have opened their own market. You bring your product. Let's refine and give you people.
Yes.
Nigeria has the crude. Nigeria has the manpower.
And we've been exporting it.
Nigeria has the water. Look at the Ibejuleki zone, that the zone that he bought, that they got for this project. 7 times the size of Victoria Island. Well located. Just look at the sea, look at it. And oh God, Abule, too many gist about this.
Too many good sides.
Even they created the port, their port there, so that vessels can come in, carry their products and go. In fact, they created what, even just for fertilizers. Hey!
There's so much to celebrate about the Dangote Refinery that will be commissioned today. I'm sure that's already ongoing, and we have presidents of different countries that are going to be attending that commissioning, and of course, our own dear President Muhammadu Buhari will be the one that will be cutting the ribbon, and we celebrate with Dangote for this very milestone achievement that is going to also change the face of our economy and a whole lot more. Congratulations to every Nigerian out there. All right, let's move away from that story and we'll go to our next paper and see what the headlines look like. And that will be This Day newspaper for today, the 22nd day in the month of May. And on this day, we have a headline here. Wabote, over $50 billion oil industry projects unveiled at oil gas fair. Federal government, Nigeria's oil sector still dominated by foreigners despite government's efforts. NEPL targets 60 additional oil wells by 2024. Page 6 is where we find details of that story. We move downwards to the main headline here. It says, Onaiko backs call for live broadcast of presidential tribunal proceedings. 7 African presidents joined Buhari to open Dangote Refinery, continent's game changer. 650,000 barrel per day facility to alter international energy landscape and petrol smuggling in Nigeria. Tinubu Emefiele, governors, ministers, top business leaders to witness epoch event. Refinery, a significant achievement for Africa, Adeleke declares. Orama, Afrexim Bank, proud as its largest financier. Oh, that's interesting. Rewind. Refinery will strengthen Nigeria's macroeconomic stability. I'll take that again. Rewind. A refinery will strengthen Nigeria's macroeconomic stability. And then lastly, at the very bottom of this day newspaper, we take this one. It says, Atiku, disunity feeds hate, which in turn feeds conflicts. You find details of that story on page 57 of this day newspaper. All right, before we get into the story on this day, you could see this day outlining some of the benefits that's going to come out of Dangote Refinery. I'm sure Nigerians, you need to read up this story to understand the enormity and of what is going on today. All right, but let's move away from that story. Let's look at Bishop Anaiko. He's on the news again, and this time he's calling for the judiciary to consider the live broadcasting of the Presidential Tribunal proceedings in Abuja. Remember that the Labour Party and the PDP had earlier said that they would, prefer that Nigerians are also part and parcel of all the proceedings happening at the tribunal. But INEC and the APC has kicked against it. I would like to have you take on that story right now.
So now, if you do the maths well, you find out that the APC won about, let's just even give them 40% of the vote, which I know that they didn't get up to 40% of the entire vote. Okay? Now, you now have the PDP and the LP that have, when joined together, are making so much numbers. They are not telling you, we need a live broadcast. Can't you even reason that, see, these guys have their numbers and give them the live broadcast? Is it a big issue? And for the judges out there, yes, by today we should know, before the day ends, we should know the judgment on this matter. And for the judges out there, can't you just let people see your handiwork? Is it too big to ask for?
Because it happens in international crimes. We see it happen all the time.
You call yourself a transparent nation. This is the democratic nation, for crying out loud. The people are saying they want to see the judgment. They want to see what is happening in the courtroom. Because the court can only contain about 1,000 persons. Okay, why can't the stakeholders, which means you and I, to watch the proceedings? APC and INEC has refused. And you wonder, why would INEC even refuse? Why would INEC refuse?
If they don't have anything to hide,
yes.
Why are they refusing it? They are always refusing every transparent process to work the way it should be. Let's go through election materials. No, it will take forever. It will take court orders upon court orders falling on top of each other for somebody to check election materials. Now, at the tribunal, let the whole world see the proceedings. No, we don't want to. I don't understand what people are trying to do. That the world should watch us. This is a sacred process. We don't want the world. What is all of that?
I just don't understand. At this point, I don't know who should go for trial first. Is it Emefiele or is it Mahmoud? I don't know. Because why is it that this is just common sense, my brother, that the people out there are calling out, the majority share of Nigerians are calling out that, see, we want to watch this. Can't you just show the world that, see, this election, that it had no, injustice or rigging that happened behind this scene?
Shebi,
come out and prove yourself.
They said that the APC won, that this has been the fairest election. We heard that statement from the presidency. We heard that from different clients, APC and people that won. They said that this has been the most, calm and fairest election ever. Then prove it.
Yeah.
It's simple. Just let the world to witness the court proceedings that we prove that the elections were free and fair, that the APC won overwhelmingly because Nigerians wanted them. Nigerians voted them. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu won because Nigerians chose him as the president-elect. Allow Nigerians to be a part of that process. Let them see it clearly. And then acceptance will begin to happen. Now a lot of people are just, in that coping mood. They want to switch to the coping mood that Nigerians usually will have, where when something are forced down the throat and they see they cannot fight so much, they just accept it and move on. So is that what they're trying to do to
So
Nigerians
now,
again?
as Tinubu, who won the election, okay, you don't also want your voters to watch
How you won the
how you
election.
won the elections. My brother, it does not make sense. That is to tell you that there is something that these guys are hiding that they don't want the masses to see. Okay? Mind you, cameras don't get in there. So they are hiding. They don't want us to document the issues. So that, see, at the end of the day, it is from what has happened and the documents that we keep that can help us to overcome problems like this in the future.
True.
Let them allow Nigerians to see this for crying out loud.
They don't allow journalists into the court premises once the proceeding starts. There are so many irregularities, so many things that creates the highest level of suspicion. So instead of dousing this tension, they are just, I don't know, like you said, at the end of today, we're going to hear the ruling as regards this. I just hope it will be to the favor of the majority of Nigerians that really want to be a part of this proceedings. I really would love to be a part of it. I'd like to see how it's all going on. And then we also know that, parties from that's the Labour Party and the PDP aspirants are always in court following the proceedings, but that's not enough. Nigerians also want to see. So we're hoping that the ruling will favor Nigerians and not just INEC and APC. Recently, I've noticed that everything that INEC and APC wants, they get. I don't even understand how it works. Everything they request for, they get. So we don't know how it will play out today. But that's the much we can take on this day newspaper. We'll go on a short break now. Once we come back, we'll take our last paper for the day.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back from that short break, and thank you so much for staying with us up to this time. If you haven't connected with us yet, please do well to subscribe and turn on your notification. We're still taking the headlines, and let's see what our last paper for today looks like. And that will be Nigerian Tribune for today, the 22nd day in the month of May 2023. And on the Nigerian Tribune, we have a headline here: NDLEA intercepts UK-bound meth worth 500 million naira in Lagos. Arrest Baron, seals Lekki mansion, seizes drug consignment, military uniforms going to Borno. You find that story on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Other headlines here says UK to ban Nigerian students, orders from moving family to Britain. UK to ban students, orders from moving family to Britain. Failed Abuja CCTV project. Court orders Buhari to account for $460 million Chinese loan. You find that on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. The main headline, of course, is also talking about Dangote Refinery, and it says, history, hope, as Dangote Refinery begins operation. Buhari to inaugurate world's largest single refinery today. 5 other African presidents to be in attendance. Refinery to process 650,000 barrels per day, sits on 2,635 hectares of land to provide employment to over 100,000 persons. Morman, Ipman, others list necessary things for its sustainability. A fine story. All of these details is on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also take other headlines here on the Nigerian Tribune. It says, seek debt forgiveness to succeed as president. Affair cancels Tinubu. Strike. Uproar as federal government exempts 204 Unizik lecturers from no work, no pay rule. You find the story on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune. This very last one says, 10th representatives leadership. G7 great minority caucus adopt consensus candidates for speaker, deputy. Say Tinubu's presence during inauguration won't stop us. G6 insists on meeting with Tinubu. Details is on page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune. All right, Victor, I'm coming back to you. And it's with this story that caught my attention. If you notice, I read that headline twice. It says, UK to ban Nigerian students, orders from moving family to Britain. This is going to cause a lot of commotion because a lot of Nigerians and then the Japa syndrome is as a result of the fact that they can move with family at once and then don't ever come back after their studies. They have different plans, different ways of ensuring that they are coming back to Nigeria is, of zero chances. What's your take on that story?
Okay, I'll talk about the good and bad for them over there, the UK government. So the good thing for them is that it will help them with respect to their social skeleton, their social carriage, because they feel that when these students come with their family, their schools, which in most cases is free for children, so it will be so much. It has been so much load on them for their schools.
Paying for those expenses.
Exactly. But I need to also let them know, well, they should know that, especially for Nigerians, for any family, any Nigerian that is going to the UK that has a family, is also coming with a good workforce for the society out there, because in many cases you can't see a Nigerian that the wife or the husband is going to study that the partner or the wife or the husband does not have something doing. In many cases, it's either the husband is sponsoring the wife, or the wife, if she's sponsoring herself, means that she has a job, or the man is doing business. So one way or the other, even if it's a businessman that is coming over to the UK with the wife, or a white-collar person is coming over, mind you, you are also bringing in a professional to your system.
Sure.
And we already know, we know that the UK, many a times, the whites or the Britons, let me not say white or black here, okay? Many a times, they don't even have these professional skills, okay? And you know Nigerians, we are go-getters. We can push through the limit. We can suffer, but make sure that, see, we are getting to our best goals. Now,
promised land. Yeah.
Yes. Now, respect to the bad side of this, if they eventually cut off families joining students to the UK, one, the numbers will go down. Nigerians will look for other routes, which we already know that Canada has more numbers now than the UK, because Canada has made it easier for Nigerians even to get a permanent residence. It has made it so easy for Nigerians out there. Okay, so it will make the push. And mind you, the UK school fees is very expensive. Okay, let me even come from this aspect. The aspect that they will be losing money, losing revenue. And see, do you know that if you compare here, we watch Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Nigerians watch Premier League. The world, okay, the season is ending. Everybody's eyes are on the TV. But let me even tell you that the monies that diasporans bring into the UK is even more than what the worth of the Premier League. The UK revenue for education is about 40 billion pounds.
And most of that money, a good percentage of that money comes from Nigeria.
Yes. And what I'm telling you now is annually, the annual revenue for international students that international students pay is about 40 billion pounds. But you know, as big and lucrative as the Premier League clubs worth only 20 billion pounds. So half of the revenue you make from your international students is even
doubling that of the
what you are getting from the Premier League. That is a big market for you. So what are we saying? If they feel that the international students are not so cool for them, that it's so much for their social welfare, my brother, they should also think about the monies that they will lose. And that also comes down to leadership. Okay, check out even the prime minister now, who is even an immigrant, the son of an immigrant. You see, some person will be like, this person, you get head at all. Can't you check your roots?
Yes.
And
And you know, the Indians are actually like Nigerians in terms of moving to the UK.
Sure.
They've been moving a lot.
They will be the worst hit.
Yeah, they will be the worst hit. So I don't know. And he's also an Indian. I want to believe that he has all of that in consideration, because it's going to affect the economy, like you said. For sure, it's going to affect, because a lot more Nigerians will look the other way and look into countries like Canada, Austria. These are other avenues that Nigerians have been moving to. They also have some African countries that Nigerians don't mind moving to do their studies and just relocate from in quotes, the pressures of, society here in our country. So I think the British government should really consider some of this.
And lastly, if you check, one might be like, okay, what about undergraduate studies? That you still have Nigerians going for undergraduate studies, but check out the number of persons that go for undergraduate is so minimal. You can't compare it. You know why? Because it's just a few Nigerians that have that shoulder to carry 3 years, 4 years course for so amount of money of about 18 to 20,000 pounds per year for your child. But if you now go down to the postgraduate level, you find out that most Nigerians can cater for that because they've worked for a while. Most families have worked for a while. True. They've saved and they then move. Okay, and if you also check back, how many families can be able to push their children for undergraduates in the UK? Many times now, they tend to get scholarship in the US or send them to Canada because they know that the loans out there can also help them. So Nigerians are just a few of Nigerians, especially the politicians, and maybe just a few from the multinationals that can take the children. If you find out even the international, in total numbers of Nigerian international students in the UK, when you compare it to the world, you find out that it's just a fraction. Why do I say that? Because we have Nigerians check out the wars that have happened now. The Ukraine war, you had so many Nigerians out there, and Sudan, you have so many Nigerians out there. Reason, because of the cost. Many Nigerians cannot handle the cost of sending their children to the UK. It's only for those ones that have worked, you and I that have worked for a while, that have saved up, going for a postgraduate, knowing that it's just about 1 year that you can go in, then make out your money and recover.
Very
so
true.
For me, their judgment is almost there.
You're right.
And,
we're watching closely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victor. I'm afraid that's where we're going to draw the curtains for today. Hope you've enjoyed our discussions today. Don't forget, you can also be a part of this by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section about these headlines. We want to hear what you think. Until next time, we'll come your way again. My name is Williams Abule, and this has been the Newspaper Review here on TAP TV. See you next time.